The founder's mindset is not a simple collection of personality quirks or motivational slogans. It is a fundamentally different way of seeing the world, a lens through which uncertainty becomes potential, obstacles become catalysts, and limitations transform into invitations for creation. Extraordinary entrepreneurs possess a peculiar combination of vision, paranoia, courage, and humility that allows them to operate in environments where others perceive only chaos. At the core of their mindset lies an unshakable belief that the world can be improved through deliberate effort, that problems, no matter how entrenched, are solvable with ingenuity and persistence, and that the boundaries defining industries, markets, and human behavior are not fixed but malleable. This belief acts as a psychological engine, enabling founders to push forward even when resources are scarce, validation is absent, and conventional wisdom insists their ideas are impossible. The ability to envision a future state so vividly that it becomes more real to them than present circumstances is what separates these entrepreneurs from the countless dreamers who never act. Yet vision alone is insufficient. Founders pair their imagination with an almost obsessive bias toward action. They do not wait for perfect information because they understand perfection is a mirage. Instead, they learn by doing, adjusting, failing, recalibrating, and launching again with a relentless rhythm that makes progress inevitable. This willingness to move fast does not stem from recklessness, but from an intimate awareness that speed is often the single greatest competitive advantage a young company can wield. Another defining trait is an unusual relationship with fear. Extraordinary entrepreneurs feel fear as intensely as anyone else, but they interpret it differently. For most people, fear signals retreat. For founders, it signals meaning. It tells them they are approaching the edge of what is known, the threshold where breakthroughs occur. They lean into discomfort not because they enjoy it, but because they recognize that discomfort is the price of transformation. Alongside courage, however, is an equally powerful sense of humility, an acknowledgement that no founder sees perfectly, that assumptions can be wrong, and that markets often reveal truths slowly and painfully. This humility fuels adaptability, allowing entrepreneurs to pivot rather than crumble when early hypotheses fail to materialize. They hold their vision tightly, but their tactics loosely, understanding that rigidity is death in an environment governed by rapid change. Another key element in the founder's mindset is resourcefulness, the ability to extract momentum from extremely limited means. Entrepreneurs do not wait for ideal conditions. They create forward motion with whatever tools, capital, and connections they have. Scarcity forces creativity, and creativity breeds resilience. Founders learn to negotiate, persuade, prototype, test, recruit, and iterate with an efficiency that large organizations struggle to replicate. They operate as generalists early on, wearing every hat, not out of ego, but necessity. This broad exposure gives them a deep, intuitive understanding of their product, their market, and their customers. Speaking of customers, one of the most extraordinary traits entrepreneurs share is empathy, the capacity to understand not only what users say they want, but what they truly feel, need, and struggle with. Great founders do not build companies around technology. They build around human frustration, aspiration, and desire. They listen for emotional signals hidden beneath surface-level complaints, and these insights shape product decisions with a precision no spreadsheet can match. Combined with empathy is the founder's intensity, a psychological fire that transforms work into mission, mission into identity, and identity into persistence that outlasts fatigue, rejection, and skepticism. This intensity radiates outward, infecting early employees, investors, and customers with a sense of shared purpose. It is the invisible force that turns a small team with limited resources into a movement with disproportionate impact. Yet intensity must be balanced with discipline. Extraordinary entrepreneurs are not merely dreamers. They are operators. They monitor metrics, scrutinize feedback loops, optimize systems, and hold themselves accountable to outcomes rather than intentions. They understand that vision without execution is hallucination, and execution without consistency is luck. Many founders also possess what psychologists call selective blindness, the ability to ignore distractions, negativity, and social pressure that could weaken their resolve. They see the mountain ahead, but focus only on the next step, allowing progress to accumulate until momentum becomes unstoppable. Adding to this psychological toolkit is resilience, not the superficial idea of never giving up, but a deeper, almost philosophical acceptance that failure is not a verdict, but a variable in the system of growth. Founders do not fear failure because they have reframed its meaning. Failure is simply information, raw material to be repurposed into insight. This is why they recover from setbacks with remarkable speed. Their identity is not tied to being right, it is tied to moving forward. Lastly, extraordinary entrepreneurs carry a sense of ownership so profound that it shapes their every decision. They view problems as theirs to solve, opportunities as theirs to seize, and the company's destiny as inseparable from their own responsibility. Ownership is what pushes them to make hard decisions others avoid, to do unglamorous work without complaint, and to maintain standards even when no one is watching. It is this sense of ownership, combined with vision, courage, humility, empathy, intensity, discipline, and resilience that forms the psychological architecture of the founder's mindset. It is not a mindset reserved for the gifted. It is a mindset forged through challenge, sharpened through experience, and deepened through conviction, becoming the driving force behind the extraordinary entrepreneurs who reshape industries, inspire societies, and leave lasting imprints on the world, creating ripples of innovation that spread far beyond their own lifetimes and influencing generations that follow as they look back and wonder how a single idea, guided by a bold and restless spirit, could ignite a transformation so vast that it alters the trajectory of how people work, live, and dream, ultimately revealing that the founder's mindset is less about individual traits and more about a profound internal posture toward possibility, one that insists the future is not something to be predicted, but something to be built, and that the act of building demands not only intellect, but also imagination, courage, and an unwavering refusal to accept the world as it is when one can clearly see what it could become, driving them further into the heart of creation, where every breakthrough begins with the quiet but powerful conviction that even the smallest spark of an idea can ignite movements far larger than themselves, expanding outward as teams grow, markets respond, and society begins to reorganize around the new possibilities that such entrepreneurial energy unleashes. As the spark becomes a flame, the founder's mindset proves its true power. It does not only build companies, it builds momentum. And momentum is the silent force that bends entire industries toward new frontiers. In this second phase of the entrepreneurial journey, the traits that once served as inner qualities evolve into external structures, culture, strategy, execution systems, shaping how the company behaves as it scales. Vision transforms into a guiding narrative that aligns teams even in moments of confusion. Intensity becomes operational cadence. Empathy becomes user-centered design. Discipline becomes predictable, repeatable excellence. What distinguishes extraordinary founders at this stage is their ability to scale themselves, not by working harder, but by architecting mechanisms that ensure the company learns, adapts, and makes decisions even when they are not in the room. They transition from being the engine to being the architect, from pushing every detail to designing frameworks that allow thousands of details to flow without friction. Yet this transition demands another layer of psychological maturity: the willingness to let go. A founder must relinquish control, not to escape responsibility, but to expand it, trusting others to steward the mission with the same care. Extraordinary entrepreneurs choose people not only for talent, but for alignment of values, because they understand that culture is the most durable form of strategy. If the right people protect the right principles, the company can withstand volatility, competition, and even the natural mistakes that accompany rapid growth. Another challenge arises as the company gains visibility. External pressure. Investors expect clarity, teams expect stability, customers expect reliability, and the media expects perfection. But founders know that growth is inherently messy. They learn to communicate openly, acknowledging uncertainty while inspiring confidence. They become translators, turning complexity into clarity, chaos into direction, and doubt into purpose. And yet, beneath all the noise, they preserve their inner compass, refusing to let the expectations of others dilute the originality that made their company possible. As success builds, another subtle danger emerges: comfort. Comfort whispers that momentum is permanent, that risk can be avoided, that innovation can wait. But extraordinary founders treat success as a temporary state, not a guarantee. They practice constructive paranoia, continually scanning the horizon for threats and opportunities, challenging their own assumptions, and pushing the organization to evolve before external forces demand it. This mindset protects the company from stagnation, ensuring that curiosity and restlessness remain embedded at every level. At the same time, founders must confront the emotional toll of leadership. The journey exposes them to loneliness, pressure, doubt, and the fear of failing not just themselves, but the people who believed in them. Extraordinary entrepreneurs endure, not because they are unbreakable, but because they cultivate resilience through meaning. The mission becomes their anchor. Every hardship becomes a chapter in the story they are writing. They learn to process pain without letting it poison their purpose, turning vulnerability into strength and uncertainty into fuel. Ultimately, the founder's mindset shapes not only the company's trajectory, but its legacy. As the organization reaches maturity, the founder's role shifts once more, from architect to steward, from builder to mentor, from warrior to philosopher. They begin thinking not just about products and profits, but about impact. How has this company changed people's lives? What new possibilities has it unlocked? What values will endure after the founder steps away? Extraordinary entrepreneurs measure success not by personal wealth, but by the permanence of the change they create. Their influence ripples outward, inspiring new founders who, in turn, challenge the next generation of limitations. This is the quiet continuity of entrepreneurship. Each breakthrough becomes the foundation for future breakthroughs. Each bold mind lights the path for the next. And if there is a lesson that emerges from the founder's mindset, it is that greatness is not a trait, but a posture, a way of moving through the world with curiosity, conviction, courage, and compassion. Industries rise and fall, technologies appear and fade. But the mindset that reshapes the future endures, carried by individuals who refuse to be constrained by what is and insist on pursuing what could be. For in the end, the extraordinary entrepreneur is not defined by the scale of the company they build, but by the scale of possibility they unlock, leaving behind a world that thinks, creates, and aspires more boldly because they once dared to challenge the boundaries of the familiar. Completed.